in this video, I am going to be showcasing what all of the different sponsors and their respective gadgets do in Spectre Divide. So I'm just going to be showcasing everything, even the stuff that is unlocked. They do take quite a lot of time to unlock, which is one of the reasons I'm making this video, because, you know, you kind of want to know what they do and all that before you go ahead and start working towards them, because maybe there's something else that you prefer, right? So you start off with these 4, and then you have to unlock the last 4 by, like, activating them in the main menu, and then, like, earning XP and stuff. But for now, we're going to go for the first 4. The first one is Pinnacle International. This gives you a Splinter Grenade, Adrenalink, and the Flash Grenade. So this is like very normal grenade. It just blows up and it has a little AoE effect. So they don't all blow up at once, so if someone gets hit by a bit of it and they have like good reaction speed, they can probably escape. You can also underhand throw it, and this is going to be the same for the Flash Grenade. So you throw it, or you can right click to underhand it, and it also does that. And you can see they both blinded me as well. And then we also have our E, which just heals you over time. It heals you for a decent amount, but you can only use it on yourself. And you can also just cancel it if you don't need the healing anymore, which is nice as well. You have 2 uses of all of these, and this is just going to be like a very, very simple class. It's like Grenade is very similar to like COD Grenade, and Flash Grenade is also similar to a COD Grenade, and then you just have a heal as well. So very, very, very basic class right there. Next up is Morgan United. They have a Smoke Shift, which is just a smoke grenade, Meltdown, which throws a grenade that causes an area of caustic fluid, which damages players for 168 health over 7 seconds. So this damage per second is actually pretty high. Then we have Hidden Grasp, which deploys a trap that cloaks itself after deployment and explodes if an enemy gets too close, creating a slow zone for 10 seconds. So the Smoke Shift looks like this. This is going to be very similar to a Valorant ability. And then if you go inside it, you can only see inside it. And then if you come back out of it, you can see outside of it again. So that's what that looks like. Neither you nor enemies can see through this. And that's pretty much it. You've got 2 of them. You've got 2 of everything for this class. Next up is the E. This is just going to cause a lot of damage to enemies that are inside of it. You can kind of pair this with the smoke grenade. You got to kind of plan in advance, though, because the caustic fluid does not last for that long at all. And then our C is a little AoE that you put down on the floor. And it's got a pretty big range, as you can see, and enemies are not going to be able to see it. And it's just going to slow them down. Not going to do any damage, but it is going to slow them down if they're inside here. So, you know, maybe you can pair this with your caustic fluid. Oh, no, you can't. There you go. That destroys the traps. Well, now you know. There you go. Myth busting that for us. So just to recap, this is a smoke bomb, a damaging AoE, and a slowing AoE. So then we have Bloom Technologies. I think this is probably going to be the best class in this game. Definitely the best starting class, I would say. You have access to a Hex Barrier that has 4 sections with 150 health each, and this has a 30-second recharge. By the way, if I didn't say it already, all of the first things, so the Splinter Grenade for this class, the Smoke Grenade for this class, the Hex Barrier for this class, and so on, they all recharge automatically, and then 2 and 3, or your E and C, you have to like purchase before the game, basically. So you've got a Hex Barrier, which recharges over 30 seconds. Twin Mend is a heal, so you can heal allies for 80 health over 10 seconds, or you can heal yourself for 40 health over 10 seconds. So it's better to use on allies, but you can use it on yourself if you need to. Then you also have a Swarm Grenade, which damages enemies for 100 health over 12 seconds. So this is the Hex Barrier. Now both your bullets and enemy bullets damage this, and the bullets don't pass through. So if you want to, you can actually just shoot your own barrier a little bit so that when you see an enemy, you can just like immediately start shooting, and your first couple of shots will break the barrier, and then hopefully you get some damage on them. And if they start shooting you at the same time, then, you know, this is going to block at least 1 or 2 bullets. So if you're trading, you're probably going to win that trade. So this is just a nice barrier. Or like, you know, let's say I want to pass through here without getting shot behind. I'd like put this barrier behind me and then keep going this way or something, just so that I wouldn't get shot in the back straight away. I'd hear someone shooting the wall and stuff like that. So then we also have the Twin Mend, which is just a heal. Now I can't actually use this in this practice range, but left clicking uses it on your teammate and right clicking it just uses it for yourself, and they heal you for their respective amounts. And Swarm Grenade is very similar to the Smoke Grenade, and that looks like this, and it's going to damage enemies that are inside. It doesn't damage you, but it will damage enemies that are inside it, and you have 2 of everything for this class as well. Then we have RAR Industries. This gives us access to a wave scan, so this throws a sonar spike that pulses 3 times towards your active body. Enemies hit by a pulse will be located for 3 seconds. Then your alt fire is the sonar spike will bounce once before striking, so you can, kind of get it around a corner or something if you want to, and has a 45-second recharge. Then you also have a hull mine, which throws a proximity mine that sticks to the ground, and after a short delay, the first enemy who gets too close will trigger 3 explosions, which deal 15 health damage each, which isn't a whole lot of damage, but it is something. Then your arc sentry, you deploy a sentry that heavily slows enemies who get within its line of sight. So the wave scan looks like this. You just yeet it, and it is going to kind of bounce back towards me so that it can ping anyone kind of between me and it. And of course, if I want to get it a little bit further that way, I can like bounce it around that corner if I want to, so I can see people that are over there. Then our hull mine is going to stick to the ground, and if someone gets close to it, then it is going to explode. And then we have the arc sentry that will slow anyone that is within its field of view, and you can see it kind of like scans the area a little bit. It's got like a 90-degree view or something like that, and it will scan people within that, and if someone's spotted, then it will slow them. Then we have Vector Dynamics. This gives us access to Joule Amp. You deploy a marker and gain a 15% fire rate buff for 8 seconds, which is pretty significant. Reactivate to teleport your Spectre to the marker, giving it a fire rate buff, kills reset the buff duration, 30 seconds recharge. So there's a little bit of stuff to unpack there, so I might just dive straight into this. So you use it, you set a marker, you get your extra fire rate, and now if I want to summon my other Spectre to where I am, all I have to do is press Q, and then the Spectre goes to wherever you press the marker. So I'll do it again. I'm going to press the marker now, and if I press it again, the Spectre is going to go to where I activated the marker. So they're going to appear right there when I press it again. So this is kind of interesting, like a 15% fire rate buff, which I guess I'll also show. This is the normal fire rate. I guess using this on a semi-auto weapon probably isn't fantastic, actually, so I'll just change that real quick. This is also a semi-auto weapon. Here we go. So this is how fast it fires normally, which is pretty fast. And then if I use this ability, and now I fire, you can see it's like a good bit faster. So that's just showcasing that as well. And obviously if I press Q, this is going to move to wherever I use the marker. So, this one's a little bit complicated. You're probably going to have to pair this well with a lot of game sense. You're really going to want to know what you're doing to use this ability in particular. But on to the other ones. You get a Vector Wall. You deploy a slow-moving nanobot wall that blocks vision for 10 seconds, and your alt fire is the wall moves faster, but it only lasts for 6 seconds. So here is what that looks like. I'm just going to aim it here. You don't get a preview like you do with the with some of the other abilities, but you just click, it spawns right in front of you, and then it's going to move very, very slowly. You can't see past it, and the enemies also can't see past it, and this is going to last 10 seconds. The other one is going to move much faster, but it's only going to last 6 seconds. So this is going to be good for like pushing into an area, and it's like a pretty cool ability, just like a moving wall so that you can push into an area. And then Nanosphere, you deploy a bouncing nano swarm that deals 90 damage over 2.5 seconds to the first enemy it gets near. And this is just going to kind of go in a straight line. You can see the preview is just a long straight line, unless you bounce it, in which case it will go slightly different. But this is also going to bounce across walls. So I'll just show it going in a straight line first, and it's going to bounce against the wall at the end. And it will be quite easy for someone to destroy if they're like looking down that big long pathway, and eventually it disappears on its own. So you do want to make sure you're using it towards an enemy. You can't just use it and hope it hits someone. It's not really going to work like that. If I use it on this wall here, it is going to bounce, but it's not really going to bounce as you expect. It kind of only makes it so that you can only really bounce it once or something like that. Yeah, even if I put it like right here, I still don't think it's going to bounce. Oh no, it does. Maybe it's just a wonky wall or something, I don't know. But you can bounce it around stuff as well if you want to do that, and it is going to do 90 damage, which is pretty significant. On to Ghost Link Collective. This gives us access to Partition. I really like this. I don't really know why. I just think it's kind of cool. You deploy a wall that blocks line of sight for 8 seconds. The wall is not stopped by terrain, and touching the wall slightly blurs vision. 45 seconds recharge. So you just use this, and you can see the preview for where it's going to pop out. So I'm going to use it right along here, and then I've got like a big wall right here that's just going to block all vision. And you can actually pair this with your other abilities, which is going to be Jupe. So you instantly deploy a Jupe if your current body lasts 5.5 seconds. Additionally, leave a Jupe behind you when you puck throw if you have a charge remaining. lasts 60 seconds. Enemies who shoot dupes are revealed briefly. So not only do you get a dupe to trick the enemy, and you'll be able to like see their gunfire and where they shot from, but they're also going to be revealed so you can actually visually see exactly where they are, which is pretty nice. So I'll just showcase this. I'm going to use my Jupe over there. They're going to walk that direction. And now I'm actually going to use my alt fire if I can. And so if I puck throw, I can throw the puck through, and then after I throw it, I just press E. What's going to happen is there's going to be a dupe left at where they were before, and my other Spectre is still going to go to where I throw it. So I'm going to throw it here, going to press E, my Spectre is going to go there, but there's going to be a dupe that was left behind. So this does use a charge, but this is just kind of like a nice kind of trick that you can do, and I think this lasts a little bit more than 5.5 seconds. Does it actually say how long it lasts? Yeah, this one lasts 60 seconds, so they normally last 5.5, but if you do this, they last 60 seconds, which is like a decent amount of time. Then we have Deadzone. You throw a grenade that creates a large distortion field and blurs the vision of all players inside, lasts 10 seconds, and this is what that is going to look like. So if you go inside it, you can't really see anything at all. So if someone's trying to push you, they have to get past here, because maybe you pair it with like a wall like this, and maybe you got a couple dupes somewhere. If they walk inside it, it's just going to be pretty hard for them to do anything. So this class is very much kind of based around distorting people's vision and kind of trying to mess with their heads, and I just quite like that. I think it's a pretty cool idea. Then we have the Moo Robotics. Patches. Deploy a drone that moves forward and heals you and allies in its radius for 80 health over 12 seconds. Your alt fire, deploy a stationary drone instead, and it has a 60 seconds recharge. So you can either make it move in a straight line, and that's going to heal allies within this circle right here, and it moves fairly slowly, so you can always kind of catch up to it if you want to. And alternatively, if you're all, behind cover or something and you don't really want to be peeking out, you can just pop it here, and this is going to heal you and your allies. That's here, and it just stays stationary. So this is just a heal, really, but it's kind of cool that it's a robot. And then we have Dazer. You deploy a flying drone that follows your crosshair. After 1 second, the drone explodes and obscures the vision of any enemies in line of sight. So I'm going to use it, it's going to follow wherever my crosshair is, and then it's going to explode. So by following the crosshair, I'm pretty sure it just means that like wherever I'm aiming is where it's going to go. So if I aim, at this kind of black bit of this wall, it's going to go towards the black bit of that wall. It didn't make it there because it only lasts 1 second. So this is kind of reminiscent of however Sigma from Overwatch normally shoots. It's kind of like that, there's like a sweet spot you probably want to use it at so that it hits properly. That it also has a much bigger AoE, so it's not really that similar or that precise. And you can actually move it as well, so if I wanted to bend it around this corner a little bit, I could probably do that. Oh, I didn't do it properly, I can try again. Oh my god, it's really precise. Maybe it just does it like this? Hold on, let me get closer, because it only goes 1 meter. There you go, I can put it around the corner if I kind of aim it precisely. This is probably going to take a bit of practice to get used to, but it is kind of cool. So if someone's like over there and I don't really want to peek this, I can actually just do something like that and it's going to blow up where I want it to. So probably good for, if you know where someone is, it's probably good for getting them a little bit low before you try to pop around the corner and try to finish them off. And then we have Hyperdome. Throw a grenade that creates a permanent fast recall zone, and 150 health shield dome on floor impact. The shield dome lasts 14 seconds. So I'm going to press C, going to throw this right here, and by fast recall, I believe what it means is if I throw this here, my Spectres is just instantly going to appear right here. So if I quickly want my Spectre, like immediately, for whatever reason, this is going to do that, and I also can't shoot outside of it. So it's like a shield, and also it has the perk of me being able to call my Spectres pretty quickly, which is kind of nice. Last but not least, we have Umbre Reconnaissance. Recon Wing. Throw a drone that sticks to the first surface it hits. After 1.2 seconds, the drone reveals enemies within range for 2.5 seconds. And then target marker, instantly create an AoE at the marker that reveals enemies for 2.5 seconds, 50-second recharge. So basically, you grab it, you throw it, and after a very short delay, this is going to ping enemies within the area. Next up, Pulse Finder. Instantly equip a scanner that pulses every 2 seconds for 30 seconds. Enemies hit are detected and leave a marker at their location. Detected enemies can see the remaining pulses. So you don't want to use it too much because I think it might be a little bit easy for them to spot where you are. And you see it does have like a cooldown, but it's going to go towards wherever you're looking. So if I want to look this way, it's going to go that way. If I want to look behind me, it's going to go behind me. And this is just going to ping enemies. It doesn't have the craziest range ever, but if someone's close to you and, you know, they're crouching and you're not getting the audio, then this is probably going to be a little bit useful. And you can also use your pistol while you're using this, which is kind of cool as well. And then we have Glare Burst. You deploy a drone that charges for 1.25 seconds and then blinds all players in its AoE for 4 seconds, which is a pretty long time. Target marker instantly create an AoE at the marker that blinds all players for 4 seconds. So you use it, and it's just going to go in a very straight line. Gonna pop it, it's gonna go forwards for like a second, and then it blinds everyone. Oh no, it doesn't go forward, sorry. It just charges for 1.25 seconds. So okay, pop it, charges, and then it's gonna blind everyone that's within that. So if you know exactly where someone is, you can probably get this around the corner a little bit. If I use it like that, I think it's gonna stun someone that's like in there. So you can kind of use it through walls and stuff. So if you know the map well and you really know where someone is, like if someone's behind that bit there and I don't want to peek this corner, I can probably use it here. And I'm pretty sure it would blind someone that's in there, and then you can peek out and try and get a few shots off on them. So kind of cool. And 4 seconds for a blind is pretty long. I think the flashbang isn't that long. The flashbang doesn't say how long it's for. Oh well. But yeah. That is everything. I do think that for beginners, Pinnacle International is going to be very straightforward. Just, you know, like frag grenade, basically flash grenade, and then just a heal. That's very, very straightforward. And I do also like the Bloom technologies. So Hex Barrier is just a barrier, very easy to understand. Twin Mend is just a heal, which is very useful, and you can heal your allies or yourself, so that's like super duper mega useful. Then also Swarm Grenade is like an area AoE kind of denial effect. You know, people can't really walk towards it or they're gonna take damage, so that's also very good. It's got like a lot of versatility in it, which I like very much, so I do think Bloom Technologies is very good. So, and you know, most people that are starting off the game only have these 4 unlocked right now, so I would go with either Pinnacle International or Bloom Technologies. And you know, the other 4 are all good as well. But I'll probably talk about that more in a different video. But that's just a very basic breakdown of all of the different gadgets and stuff like that. Just so that if anyone, you know, didn't really want to spend a while in the tutorial reading this and, you know, kind of trying to check everything out for themselves, I thought, hey, why don't I do that and just make it into a video so that you don't have to. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.